Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sheila. Today we're going to be learning how to make this skirt. I'm sure most of you have seen something close to this on maybe Pinterest or any social media pages. I got an order for it and I'll be showing you how to make this. I actually got an order for a dress, so I'll be breaking this in two parts. The parts will be two. So the first part will be for the skirt and the next part will be for the top, and then I'll be showing you how to join it. So for this video I'll be showing you the skirt bit of the dress, and then for the next video I'll be showing you how to make the top part of this dress. So let's get into the video. For this project you'll need any medium weight yarn. I'll be using gull. This is a fingering yarn, so I'll be doubling my strand. And I'll be using two colors, which are the beige color and the army green. So you'll also need a measuring tape, a 5mm crochet hook, and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. You're going to grab your very first color. Mine will be army green. And we are going to start off by making a slip knot. So after you make your slip knot, you're going to chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you're going to go into the very first chain that you made with a total of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and after this you're going to chain up 2 and then place 3 more double crochets in that same chain. 1, 2, and 3. So after your 3 double crochets you're going to chain up 1 and place 1 last double crochet in that very chain. So we chained 6, placed 3 double crochets in the very first chain, chained 2, placed 3 more double crochets in the same chain, chained 1, and then placed 1 last double crochet in that same chain. So this is what we have right now, and we are working this skirt or this piece from top to bottom. So after this you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. I'll make 1 row of army green, and then I'm going to switch my color to this lighter color. I'll call this color B for this project because I'm sure we are not using the same exact colors. So you're going to turn your work to the opposite side. You see, I worked this row like this, so I'll turn my work and then insert my hook in that very last chain, that very last stitch, and attach my yarn there. I'll just pull through that loop and then chain 1 and make it tight. So that's how I attach my yarn. And then I'm going to chain up 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and then in this chain 1 space you'll place a total of 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1. In the chain 2 space you'll place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. And then you're going to chain up 1 and go into the very last space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 last double crochet. So the reason why we are doing this is because it's the same exact thing at the beginning. So at the beginning we do a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and at the end we chain 1 and double crochet. So that means we balance the two sides. Whatever you do on this side is exactly what you do on this side. So after this, you're going to chain up 4, turn your work, and this is basically going to be the same exact row as row 2. So after your chain of 4, place 3 double crochets in this very first chain 1 space, and then you're going to chain up 1, and then in this chain 1 space you're going to place 3 double crochets. So every chain 1 space will always get 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain up 1 and then go into this space. This is a chain 2, and every chain 2 space will get 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in that chain 2 space, like that. And then you're going to chain up 1 and place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and in this very last space you're going to place 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1 and then place 1 last double crochet in that same space. So that's how we end every row, and this is how we begin every row for now. So this is what we are going to have. I'm going to do 2 rows of beige or color B, and my 2 rows are done. I'm going to chain up 1 and cut my yarn. So chain 1, cut your yarn. So we are going back to army green, and we start the next color at that point where we left off with the previous color. So make a slip knot and then insert your hook in this very last stitch, then attach your army green, and then we are going to chain up 4, 1 2 3 4, because that's how we begin every row. Then place a total of 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space. That's the very first chain 1 space, and then chain 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then this is a chain 2 space, so it will get 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in the same space, like that. And then you're going to chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and in this very last space you're going to go in with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 last double crochet. And now this is row 4, and we are done with it. So we are going to the second row of color A, because I told you from this point we are going to be doing two rows of each color, both color A and color B. So you're going to chain up 3 and then 1 more chain, which is a total of 4. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, place 3 double crochets in this very first space. And now something else is going to change. We are going to introduce 2 more corners on row 5. So after this you're going to chain up 1, and then in this space you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in that same space. So row 5 is a bit different from the previous rows. So we've introduced another corner here, chain 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and now we are at the chain 2 space, and we are going to go in there with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, because this is already a corner. This was the corner that was existing. This was the only corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then chain 1. In the next space you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1. In the next space you're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and in this space, the second last space, you're going to go in there with 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in that same exact space. So we've introduced our third corner, and then you're going to chain up 1 and go into the last space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 last double crochet. So this is the end of our 2 rows of army green or color A. You're going to cut your yarn, and now you can see this. We've introduced a corner here and a corner here, and then we already had this corner. So we are no longer making a triangular shape. The shape has changed because we have a corner here and a corner here, and then also a corner at this point. So you're going to grab your next color. You're going to grab your color B, and then you're going to attach it. We are going to do still something a bit different for row 6 onwards. So for row 6, you're going to attach your yarn at this point in this space between the 3 double crochets and this double crochet on its own. There's a space there. You're going to attach your yarn there, and then you're going to chain up 4. And this time, instead of placing 3 double crochets in this space, we are not going to do that anymore. We are going to go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets. The reason why we don't go into this space anymore is because once we introduce corners here, if we start placing those 3 double crochets here, our work is going to go like this, and we want it flat at the top. So you're going to do your 3 double crochets in this next chain 1 space, then chain 1, and this is a corner, so you know what to do for corners. You're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in the same space. And then you're going to chain up 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, go into the next space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, double crochet 3 times in the next chain 1 space, chain 1. This is a corner, so it will get a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Chain 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1. This is a corner, as you can see, so it will get a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets in the same space, chain 1, plus 3 double crochets in this next chain 1 space. Then you're going to chain up 1 and go in this last space between the 3 double crochets and the chain. You're going to go in there with 1 last double crochet. So we are trying to balance what we did here onto this side. So this is what you should have. And now we're going to row 7, and we are still using this same exact color. You're going to chain up 3, this time not 4. I'll be explaining why. Chain 3, turn your work, and you're going to place 2 more double crochets in that first space. Remember, it was a chain 1 space, so we chained 3 and that counted as a double crochet, and then place 2 more here to make a total of 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain up 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1. This is a corner, so every corner gets 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in the same space. And then you're going to chain up 1, go into the next space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1, next chain 1 space. So from now on, every chain 1 space will be getting 3 double crochets, and don't forget to always chain 1 in the middle, and every chain 2 space, which is every corner, will be getting 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So like here, this is a corner, so it will get 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets in the same space. So that keeps the corners intact so that we don't distort the shaping of this piece. So you can see there's a corner here, and then there's a corner here as well, and there's a corner here. So we are going to keep repeating that. Chain 1, 3 double crochets, 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 chain 1, 3 double crochets. So this is a corner, so it will get 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. And when you're coming to the end of this row, you're going to chain up 1, and this is a chain 1 space. Remember, the chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and then chain 1. So this is a chain 1 space. You're going to go in there with a total of 3 double crochets, and I'm going to be showing you why. This is because we also started the row with 3 double crochets, and that means we should end the row with 3 double crochets. What you do on this side is exactly what you do on this side. So after this, you're going to chain up 1 and then cut your yarn. So we are done with color B. We're going back to color A. So going back to color A, you're going to attach your yarn where you left off with color B in that last stitch, and pull this loop through and then chain up one and tighten. So after this, you're going to chain up 4. 1 2 3 4. This counts as a double crochet, chain 1. That's the same exact thing we have 2 rows below. So we are alternating between this row that starts with chain 4 and then the row that starts with 3 double crochets. So that's the repeat. You chain up 4 and then go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next, chain 1. This is a corner, so you're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets, all in that same space. And then you're going to chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and this is a corner, so you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets, like that. And so you can see our work coming together. We are going to keep repeating that. We're going to go all the way down, place a corner here, and then I'll meet you guys when I'm at the end of this row. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my row, and as you can see, I'm placing my very last 3 double crochets here, and now we have 3 double crochets here. So you'll chain up 1 and go into that very last stitch on top of the chain 3 and place a double crochet. So we've balanced what we did here and what we did here. It should look the same. So this is a chain 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and then this is a chain 1 double crochet. That means we've balanced both sides. So for the next row, which is row 9, and we're still using color A, you're going to chain up 3. As I had told you, it's either this or this. So we're moving from this to this, then from this, which resembles this one, and then the next row should resemble this one. So chain up 3, place 2 more double crochets in that chain space. That will mean we have a total of 3 double crochets here, which is similar to row 7. Yeah, this is row 7. So row 9 is almost the same as row 7. It's actually the same as row 7. So after your 3 double crochets, you're going to chain up 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1. This is a corner, so you know what to do for corners. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. So we're going to go all the way up and then place a corner at this point, go down, place a corner at this point, and then when you come to the end, you're going to chain 1 and then place a total of 3 double crochets in the very last space, and I'll meet you guys at this point. So I'm coming to the end of this row, and I'm going to chain up 1 and go into the very last chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain up 1 and cut my yarn. So that's the end of this row. So we are going to keep working these rows. So as I had told you, you either start with 3 double crochets or start with a chain 4 and end with chain 1 double crochet. So for this particular piece, you're going to keep working those rows. You're going to keep alternating between row 6 and row 7. You just look at row 6 and see how you started, and that will be the same exact thing that you'll do after doing a row that resembles row 7. So this is row 7 and it will resemble row 9. So from here onwards, every odd row is the same and every even row is the same. All even rows start with chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, and end with chain 1 double crochet, and every odd row starts with chain 3 and then 3 double crochets in that very first space, and then ends with chain 1, 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. So I hope I'm clear on that. You're going to keep working until your piece measures half of your hip measurement. So if you're doing a sample of 40 inches hip measurement, which I usually do because that's a medium size, you're going to make sure this can stretch up to 20 inches because we're going to do 2 pieces of this same exact piece. So I'm going to continue working until I have my piece measuring 20 inches from this corner to this corner. So right now we have 15 inches. Don't overstretch it because we also want it to stretch upwards. So you just give it a little stretch. So right now I'm at 15. I'm going to continue working until this piece measures a total of 20 inches, which is half the hip measurement that I need. So go ahead and do whatever you have to do for your particular hip measurement. Alright, so we are back and I ended up doing a total of 12 rows. I went ahead to do a total of 12 rows. And this measures 20 inches when stretched, but when not stretched it's about 18 inches, and then when stretched a bit it's 20 inches. That's what I wanted. So after this we are going to do something different. We are going to stop widening our skirt or whatever piece that you're making. We're going to stop widening our piece in the sides. So now we're going to start working vertically. The horizontal enlargement is done. So after this, you're going to grab, you can see my row 12 was only 1 row of army green. So I'll still grab my army green. And now we're going to start working downwards. And what I want to do from here, I'm going to attach my yarn in this corner here. So attach your yarn, and then you're going to chain up 3, go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets. So we're just keeping the flow of the pattern. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, and by this time you know exactly what to do all the way across because nothing is changing. The only difference is this time we are working from here, from this corner to this corner. We are no longer widening the sides. So keep working 3 double crochets, chain 1 until you make it to the end, and don't forget to work on the corner part. We are back to only one corner. We no longer have 3 corners anymore. So the only one corner is in the center of our piece, and that corner is maintained for as long as we haven't yet gotten the length of the garment that we want. So we shall still place one corner in the exact middle of our piece until we get the length of the piece that we want. So here we are at the corner, and we're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So you can see this, we've maintained the corner in the center of our piece, and then we are going to go all the way down doing the same exact thing as we were doing before. Chain 1, 3 double crochets, so I'm going to be a bit fast here so that I make it to the end of the row. So we're just doing 3 double crochets in each chain 1 space and then chaining 1 in between. So after these 3 double crochets right before the corner, after your 3 double crochets, remember what we did here. We attached our yarn and chained 3 and went straight into the second chain space. We didn't work anything in the very first one. So that's exactly what we are going to do on this side. After your 3 double crochets, you're going to go into that very last space with 1 double crochet like that, and then you're going to chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet. Turn your work, go straight into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Sorry, I had to change my color. Sorry, I forgot. Chain 1, cut your yarn, introduce your other color, and for me my color B is this color, and then I'll attach my yarn in this very last stitch that I placed. Attach, and then you're going to chain up 3, go into the next chain 1 space, skip over this, and then go into that next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 1. So we're going to repeat the same exact thing. So this is my row 14. Remember I did 12 rows for my hip size, and then I did 1 row of green to make a second row of green here, and now I'm doing row 14, and row 14 is going to be the same exact as row 13, sorry. Row 13 is this, so we're going to do the same exact thing that we did for row 13 on row 14, and we are going to keep building our work downwards. You can see now we are building this, and you're going to work until you have the length that you need for the middle section. So you'll measure from here up to the length that you want your skirt to be. So I'm going to go off camera and I'll keep working until I get the length of the skirt that I want, and then I'll be letting you know how many rows that I did. So I'm coming to the end of row 14, and after my 3 double crochets here, so we have 3 double crochets here and a chain 3 here. You're going to go directly into that chain, into that space, and place a double crochet. So that's the same exact thing that we did for row 13, and we're going to repeat these rows until we get the length of the skirt that we need. Okay, so here we are, I'm back, and I did some more rows of lengthening the skirt, increasing the height of the skirt, and this is what I got. I did a total of 9 rows of extension down. So you can see there's this row and then these ones. So I did a total of 9 rows of increasing the height of the skirt. So for me, I wanted a total of 20 inches. From here, from the tip here, up to the base of the skirt. So if you want a total of 20, you're going to consider 19, so that we leave an inch for the waistband. An inch or 2, so you can consider 18, and the 2 inches are for the waistband that we are going to be working on the skirt. So I did 9 rows of extension, and this is how my skirt looks like. So I'm going to the next step of the skirt, that is leveling. So I don't want my skirt to be pointed, I want it to be flat at the base. So I'll grab my next color, which is color B, and I'll attach it at this end where I've ended this row, and we're going to keep doing the same exact thing as we were doing. So chain up 3 and go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1. So we're going to keep doing that until the very second last the last chain space before the corner in the middle of the skirt. So we are just doing 3 double crochets, chain 1 all the way to the corner, and then I'll let you know what you will do from there. So right now we are going to first work on one side, level it, and then we shall work on the second side. We're no longer going across the skirt. So here we are. This is the last chain 1 space before the corner. So you're going to go into it with 3 double crochets, and then this time we are not going to chain 1. You're going to go directly into that middle section of the corner and do a double crochet, and then you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. So as I told you, we're going to first work on this side, level it, and then we shall come to this other side. So after a chain of 3, you're going into the next chain 1 space. You will have to skip over all this. So it's chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. That's all that we are repeating for this row. So after this, you're going to go into this space directly. Don't chain one here, just go directly into that last space with a double crochet, chain one, cut your yarn because we've done the second row of color B. Then grab your color A, because we are doing two rows of each color. Grab your color A, attach it where you left off with color B. So turn your work, attach your color A here, like that, chain 3, and then go into the next chain one space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain one space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain one space, chain 1, 3 double crochets, 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 and now we've come to the end of the row. You're not going to chain one, you're going to just go directly into the last space with a double crochet, then chain 3, turn your work. So that's all that we are going to keep repeating. You can see that the top has started becoming flat, and then also we're keeping this side flat. So we are going to keep repeating that until we are out of stitches. So you'll notice that your rows will get shorter and shorter every other row until we run out of stitches. So I'm going to go off camera and I keep working that, and I'll meet you guys when I have very few stitches left, and I'll show you how to complete this first side and how to attach to work on the other side. So I did some more rows and I'm still going. So I've chained 3 and then I'll go into the next chain one space, and this is my second row of color B, and then after this there's a space here, so I'll directly go here without chaining here. So 1 double crochet here, and I'll cut my yarn, and then I'll attach my color A, and you can see I only have one row left, I think. So attach color A where you left off with the previous color, attach here, and then you're going to chain up 3, and then you have a space here, a chain space here, so directly go into that space with a double crochet and then chain up 1 and cut your yarn. So this is how you end your corner on this side. I hope right now this makes sense to you more than before. Before we had this, it was folded like this and the skirt was pointed at the base, and I told you that I didn't want a pointed skirt, and I'll be leveling the sides like this, filling in that gap. So right now this gap is still pending, so we need to fill it up. So since we left off with color A, I'll grab my color B, make a slip knot. So this side is done, and we are going to do the same exact thing that we did here onto this side, and we fill in the gap. So we shall attach our yarn in the very corner here, in the corner of middle corner of the skirt, that chain 2 space. You're going to attach your yarn there, and then you're going to chain up 3, and then go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So we're going to keep working the same exact thing as we were doing for the other side until we run out of stitches. So we are coming to the end of the row on this side. So you don't chain 1 at the end, you just skip over these 3 stitches and go into that last space with a double crochet. Then chain up 3, turn your work, and we are going to be working until here. So 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets, 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 and we're coming to the end. So we don't chain 1 at the end, we just go directly into that last space with a double crochet, then chain 1. And now it's time to swap colors to color A. So we're going to keep repeating this like the same way we've done on this side, and I'm going to fill in this gap, and I'll meet you guys when I have both sides balanced, and I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, so I went ahead to level up this other side of the skirt. You can see we have this corner and this corner. We no longer have the pointed piece in the middle. So after that, this is how your piece should look like that. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is to go ahead and do this same exact piece for the back side. So you're going to rewind this video to where we started off this piece, and you're going to just mirror the same exact thing that you did here, and you redo it on the other piece. So you have a total of 2 pieces, and here is mine. This is the same exact piece as the very first one. I just went ahead and did the same exact piece, and this is how they look like. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to get rid of all the loose ends. So we kept attaching our yarn where we left off with the previous yarn. So you're going to just go ahead and tie very tight knots, either 2 or 3. I think I'll do 2 of them so that they don't bulge, like that. You're going to keep on tying these off. You tie the 2 colors together to make a knot, and cut that. So that's all I'm going to do right now, and then I make sure I don't have any strands hanging around, and then I'll get back when everything is clear, and I'll show you how to attach the skirt. So this is how they look like. So here are my 2 pieces. I've gotten rid of all the loose strands lying around, and now it's time to join. And to join, you're going to make sure that the right sides of your work are on the inside. So just identify the sides that you want to be seen and put them on the inside. So right now I'm on the back, on the wrong side of my work, because we're going to do a row of single crochets on the sides while joining our skirt here and here. So let's begin. You're going to make a slip knot with the same exact hook, or even a hook smaller. You can use a 4mm if you want the stitches a bit tight. And then we are going to be attaching each and every stitch to the one on the opposite side. Sorry. So I'm going to just go into each and every stitch. I'm going to just attach my yarn in this first space, and then go there with a single crochet, and then single crochet in each of these stitches on both sides. The second one, and the third one, and then 1 single crochet in the space, and then go into the next, the next, and the next, and then 1 in the space. So this is how your work will look like on the outside. So the part that has the single crochet row, that's the wrong side of your work, because we don't want it to be seen. Okay, and 1 into the space. Then go into each and every stitch, and then 1 into the space. And then when you reach these gaps here, you're going to place a total of 2 single crochets in each and every space. We don't want to overwhelm these gaps, so 2 single crochets in each gap. That's enough. Then go to the next one, two single crochets. So you're going to go all the way down, placing 2 single crochets in each and every gap, joining this to the other side. So I went all the way across, and this is what my work looks like. So I decided to use green as the joining color because it's my main color. It's the same exact color that I'm going to be using for my waistband. So I'm going to repeat what I've done on this side onto the other side, and then I'll be showing you how my skirt looks like after that. So after this, you're going to just chain up one and cut your yarn, and then do the same exact thing on the other side, joining into each and every stitch. And then when you come to these spaces, you're going to place 2 single crochets in each and every space, joining the 2 panels together. So this is the row of single crochets on the inside. So let me go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side, and then we shall go on to the next step. Alright, so I've joined both sides, and this is how my work looks like in the end. And so I'm going to turn it to the outside part, and this is where we joined from. You can see it's almost invisible. And then same applies to this side. So the next thing that I want to do is to do the waistband. And for the waistband, we are going to attach our yarn on the upper section, and we work around to create a waistband. So I'm going to attach my yarn in the middle section. So you're going to just make a slip knot, and then you're going to go into this space, this one, in between this shell, and attach your yarn at this point. And then you're going to go into each and every double crochet space, chain up 3. You're going to go into each and every double crochet space with 2 double crochets. 2 double crochets in each and every double crochet space, or each and every row. So you don't want to place so many stitches on the waistband, because we don't want it to be bigger than the actual skirt. So I'm doing 2 double crochets in each and every row. You just go into those spaces here. Some spaces are bigger, some are smaller, but just go into each and every row with 2 double crochets all the way around. And I'll meet you back when I get here at the beginning. So when you get to this point where we joined from, just don't mind, skip over to the next row and place 2 double crochets, and then continue to do the same exact thing all the way around. So I've gone all the way around, and I'm at the beginning of this round that we were making around the waistband, and I'll go into that top of the chain 3 and make a slip stitch, and then chain up 3, and I'm going to go into the next stitch with a front post double crochet. So a front post is you go to the back and then come out around the post and then make a double crochet. And then for the next one, I'll do a back post. So I'll go behind, come out, and then go in like that. So I'm alternating between a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet all the way around. Front post, so it's a front post because it pushes the posts outwards to the front. Then this is a back post because it pulls the posts to the back. So we are going to alternate between those two stitches all the way around the waistband. So front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. And I'll meet you when I'm at the end of this round. I've gone all the way around and I've ended my row with a front post double crochet. And now what I'm going to do is to go on top of the very first chain 3 and place a slip stitch to complete that round. And then you're going to chain up 3, and this is the very final round of the waistband. So we're going into each and every front post double crochet with a front post double crochet, and every back post with a back post double crochet. So we started with a front post, that means we shall do a front post on it, and then back post. So we are literally doing the same exact thing that we did for the previous round. And you're going to go all the way around, alternating between front post and back post double crochet. This just makes the waistband more present. It makes it ribbed and not so plain. So if you can see this, there are those ribbing effects on the waistband, and it also makes it more stretchy a bit. So I'm going to go all the way around, and when I come to the end, I'll slip stitch here in the chain 3, and then I'll chain 1 and cut my yarn. So I'm going off camera to do that, and then I'll meet you guys when I'm through with all that. Okay, so I went all the way around, working my very last round of the waistband. And now the next thing that you're going to do is to make a simple chain that's going to go into the waistband to cinch the waist. So you start off with a slip knot and you make a very simple chain of around 250 chains. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is my chain, and I'm going to identify the exact middle of my front side of the skirt, and I'm going to go in and out of every 2 stitches. In and out of every 2 stitches. So I'm putting that drawstring into the second row of the waistband, the middle row. So we had the first row, which was the row of plain double crochets. Then we had the second row, then the third row. So I'm putting this drawstring through the second row of the waistband. If you did more rows, just find the exact middle. So just go in and out of every 2 stitches. Alright, so here we are, and at this moment we can always pull this to make the waist smaller, and you can see the hips are adjustable. And we are going to tie this. For now I'm going to tie it like this, and then we're going to go to the bottom of our skirt and we're going to work the edging at the bottom. It will also be in green since it's my main color. So I'm going to start off with a slip knot, and then I go to the back side of my skirt. I'm going to attach my yarn here in the middle section of the skirt, make it tight, and then you're going to go into the next row with a single crochet, chain up 3, place 3 more double crochets in that same space, then single crochet in the next, single crochet in the next, chain up 3, place 3 more double crochets in the same space, single crochet in the next space, single crochet in the next space, chain up 3, 3 double crochets in that same space, single crochet in the next space, single crochet in the next space. So that's what we are going to repeat all the way around. Chain 3, double crochet 3 times, single crochet in the next space, and single crochet in the next space. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around the bottom of my skirt, and this just gives a final finishing of the skirt, something a bit neater than this. So let me go all the way around and I'll meet you at the end of this round, and I'll let you know how to finish up the round. I've gone all the way around and I've placed my last single crochet here, and I'll go into the very first single crochet and make a slip stitch, and then I'll chain up 1 and cut my yarn. So that marks the end, and I'm going to just tie these 2 together, these 2 strands. That is the end of the base of the skirt. So let me show you how that looks like. This is the front side of my skirt, you can see that, and then the base of the skirt looks like this, way better than before. So we're just giving final touches to our skirt, and this marks the end of part 1 of our piece. And for the next video I'll be showing you how to make the top part of this skirt, and then we turn it into a dress. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this tutorial. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.